Alright, so today's review is going to be all about the Transformers Alternity Convoy in, I guess, vibrant red. And as you can tell, he is a Nissan GTR or Nissan GTR, depending on where you're located in the world. Um, he, I actually don't really know the backstory of why they made this. I know that the packaging came with a comic of sorts, but I haven't gotten around to reading it. Mostly, I just picked this up because, as much of a big Transformer fan I am, I'm also a huge car nut too. So when I realized that they actually made a Transformer and it just happened to be Optimus Prime in the Nissan GTR mold, I had to have it. Um, and he's kind of expensive. I mean, he does retail for about $50. I guess that's American or Canadian. I think it's at par now, so it doesn't really matter. And so he is pretty expensive considering he is about the size of a deluxe. Just to quick example, here's the Hunt vs. Decepticons Bumblebee, and he's only slightly larger. I mean, I wouldn't say he's tall or anything, but he fits in scale with the deluxe Bumblebee. Now, he comes in multiple colors. He comes with red, white for Ultra Magnus, black for Nemesis Convoy, and silver is the actual real color of I guess the canon color for this mold. Uh, Silver because it pays a homage to the car itself, and then the only reason they put out red is because it's the homage to Optimus Prime. So you can choose which color you want. I had a really tough time picking the color I wanted. Ultimately, I went with red because at the end of the day, this is still a Transformer and it's still Optimus, and so that's kind of why I want to go with red. But enough about little historical figures. Let's go on with details, and this guy is insanely detailed. Everywhere from the fact that he has actual brake calipers behind the nice painted wheels, the fact that he has rubber tires with actual tread on them. It's very cool. The underside is very filled in. If I could just get that to focus. Sure, you see his fists there, but otherwise it looks like, a true underside to a car. All the windows are transparent. Nice headlights. You got a nice little GTR logo. Hood scoops, taillights, exhausts that are painted. So again, nothing is really missing. The only issue I have with this figure is that he has a lot of panel brakes. Panel brakes that actually don't exist on the car. So, like, for example, this one that annoys me the most is this T here, this line here and there. It kind of really bugs me for some reason. I don't know. It feels like there's just a bit too much. But other than that, I mean, he's got insane detailing on the inside of his car as well. So if you open up the doors, you'll see that there are actual seats and a steering wheel, and there's even a gear shift there and a handbrake. It's hard to make out. Let's see if I can get it on the other side. There you go. The dash isn't quite filled in, but enough detailing is there to get the point across. Let's see. He also has rear seats. Granted, they're not as stunning to look at as the front seats. So I'll just open this up because it's hard to get to see on its own. So you can tell right there are the rear seats. The silver where the screws are, I guess where you sit, and then the front part of his feet here are the backrest. So again, very, very detailed all around on the inside of the car. Now that I have him open though, let's just get him transformed and see his robot mode. So first thing you want to do is after you have the doors pulled out is take the front and just pull it forward like that. The hood will pop up and the engine block will open up. I guess I should have shown that too. But if you pull the hood up, he has an engine. It's not the most detailed engine, but it does resemble the V6 turbo that's placed inside this car enough that you could tell it's the engine. Anyways, you pull that together and then you turn the head around and you reveal his face. So very, very cool. Next thing you want to do is, I guess, pull these out. Let's pull them out, and they will be his arms. And then from here, when you just take this and pull it down, his chest will pop out, or his abdomen will pop out normally, like that, with two peg holes, and they'll peg into right here. So it looks like a far gap, but this whole piece comes together. And I should also mention that this entire section here is all metal, so it's very, very heavy. So in a way, you are paying for the amount of metal you're getting in this figure. So you could just kick out his feet here, and then sorry, I'm just kind of a bit sick, so if I keep clearing my throat and stuff, I apologize. With the feet, all you gotta do is that you saw I just pull that down, turn this around, and then from here the spoiler comes down like that and flips all the way around just like that to form the back section. And then there's a peg here on the back of the foot that goes into this hole. Just want to sort of get that in if you can. There we go. And you got a foot done. So again, just want to pull this down, push this in, and flip this around. Turn the whole thing around, and then on this foot it's a bit opposite. The peg hole is actually here on the clear plastic, and the hole's on the back of the foot. And that's simply because in vehicle mode, this side and the other foot connect together to create the rear window. So there you go, you got his feet done. And then to get this part to connect to there, you just fold this whole assembly together, and it creates the entire midsection. You can tell he's got a lot of ratcheting joints. Now for the arms, all you have to do, it's pretty simple. You just fold this in and push it up, and then there's a peg here, or not a peg, but a sort of latch that you got to close in, and then that'll let you move these arms independently of the doors now. Okay. And then for the doors, what we want to do is fold them back and then fold them forward behind this little post here, that little post. So again, you want to undo this latch, and then the seat moves up and pushes forward. Let's see now. And then the door comes back and back. And when you're done all that, you've pretty much got him in his robot mode. Now, I said that midsection is all metal, and that kind of makes him really back heavy. So sometimes he is kind of hard to stand, so I'm going to try and get him to stand the best I can. Alright, so there he is in his robot mode in all his glory in his Optimus Prime red and blue colors. You can tell this guy is very, very detailed. One noticeable thing you'll know about mine is, if you've seen other reviews, you'll notice the leg sections are always connected. On my figure, I keep them separate because I noticed that if you connect them, this peg here and this the socket will come loose. They won't align properly, and if you force it together, you'll get stress marks like mine has right now. So that's why I keep them separated. But I mean, maybe it's just my figure. I'm sure if you got yours, it won't have the problem. Alright. So let's see. Detailing all around, he's got very good colors. He's got silver in his sort of midsection area, the nice vibrant red paint, and the blue on his, I guess, fists, knees, and his head. And his head, I think, is a gorgeous looking head. It's this blue. It's the classic Optimus Prime head, only with the shortened antennae, and he's got this sort of a grayish. It comes up like black on the camera, but it's really a dark gunmetal gray, and it looks like a sort of crest or crown. It looks very cool. He's got what appears to be a bigger and more angular mouth guard and smaller eyes. This figure has no light piping, but I believe he does have blue eyes, lighter blue eyes, so that's that. Let's see, in terms of weaponry, he has no guns that he comes with. What he does have are just forearm blasters that are very akin to the Armada Prime. So they're just kind of behind the seat, and I'll pull out one so you can see what it looks like, and it's just like that. So he's got a blaster there and there. So yeah, in terms of weaponry, yeah, he doesn't really have a lot, but on the packaging and the instructions, it says that he has a lot of extra things. Like, for example, he's got the power to stop time or something. He's got like all these fusion cannon disruptor generators inside somewhere. I don't know. It's a whole bunch of lore that's probably really interesting, but ultimately does nothing when it comes to actually, having the toy in your hand. Now, these doors, again, You can leave them however you want. I usually leave them out like this, but I've seen other reviewers, they just have him folded back, so that he doesn't look so wide. But then from his profile, he's got a lot going on there. And one thing I don't like about this figure is that if you check it out from his profile, his head is here, and his arms are placed they're quite a bit far back, and so I don't know, for me, I like it when the arms align with where the head is placed, not when they're pushed back, because then it makes him feel like he's jutting his chest out a whole lot more, and it doesn't help with the fact that his chest is rather large. But I mean, it's just minor complaints. Articulation, the head is on a ball joint, but it is kind of limited in terms of how far up it can go. He can look a little bit down, side to side, and that's it. Each arm is not on a ball joint. It is on a swivel, and then that swivel has just a hinge that goes out. He's got the elbow joint, or elbow swivel and joint, and then the wrists are fully posable. He's got no waist, but his hips are on a sort of ratcheting ball joint. His knees have articulation, and then his ankles or his feet have some play, a little bit of play. If you disconnect them, they have more, but like I just did, he mostly is gonna on yourself just be standing there. Like, he's not gonna have any real action poses. He's just gonna be chilling out on your shelf. The one thing I'm gonna say though, like, I'm in love with this figure, but more so for the fact that he transforms into a car that I fully recognize and that I fully enjoy. But ultimately, I don't know if I can recommend this figure, especially at its $50 price tag for a deluxe size. Granted, I got lucky and only paid $25 for this, but I've seen eBay prices and they reach about $50, $60. And I don't know, it's really hard. I know, like, when Transformers first came out, they were all based on actual cars, but as time goes on, more collectors don't really, I don't feel like they care too much how close the vehicle is to an actual recognizable vehicle. From what I gather, most people they're fine if it resembles it in some way. So, you know what? If you love the Nissan GTR just like I do, or if you're a big car nut, then yeah, pick this guy up. He looks totally awesome, both in vehicle and robot mode. But if you really don't care, well, first of all, if you don't care for Optimus Prime in any of his other incarnations other than his G1 truck, then one, you're not gonna like this toy. Two, if you don't really care for supercars, or being into just actual car lore and knowledge, then again, you're not gonna like this guy. And three, if you feel like paying $50 is too much for a deluxe size figure, albeit that he's very detailed and has a lot of metal pieces to him, $50 is still it's a pretty big asking price for a deluxe size figure, especially when you can get some. I know, like, at the time of this filming, a big figure to get at around that price point is the Transformers United lug nut, or if you haven't already, the United Megatron, the Voyager one. So again, get this figure if you like cars a lot, but otherwise, you can skip this guy. It's okay to skip him. He's not a must-have, in my opinion. He's a very cool figure, but again, not a must-have. But there you go, just a quick review on the Transformers Alternity Convoy.